Time is the only thing in life that feels unlimited, until it isn't. That's the cruel trick. Money teaches you its value early because you can lose it and feel the loss immediately. Energy teaches you its value when you're tired. People teach you their value when they leave. But time? Time disguises itself as abundance. It sits quietly in the background of your life, letting you believe you have more than enough. That illusion is what makes life short. When you're young, time feels heavy. A single hour feels long. A year feels massive. A decade feels unimaginable. You don't rush, you don't count, you don't measure. You assume tomorrow is guaranteed because yesterday always arrived. And slowly, without realizing it, you build your entire mindset on that assumption. But time doesn't warn you when the rules change. One day, weeks start moving faster, then months, then years. And the speed doesn't increase gradually, it snaps. You look back and realize 5 years passed and you don't know where they went. Not because you were doing nothing, but because you were doing nothing memorable. Here is the truth most people never hear. Time does not feel fast because life is short. Time feels fast because life becomes repetitive. Your brain measures time by novelty. When everything is new, time feels long. When everything is the same, time collapses. That's why childhood feels endless. Every experience is fresh. That's why adulthood feels short. Most days look identical. Wake up, same phone, same notifications, same route, same problems, same distractions, same sleep. Your brain compresses all of that into a blur, and later when you look back, it feels like life vanished. It didn't vanish, you weren't there. This is why life becomes terrifyingly short for people who live unconsciously. Not lazy people, not stupid people, unaware people. Ask yourself honestly, if your life continued exactly the same way for the next 10 years, same routines, same habits, same priorities, would those 10 years feel long, or would they disappear just like the last ones did? Time doesn't punish you for wasting it. It just leaves, silently. And when you finally notice, it's already gone. This is why awareness is everything. Presence slows time. Attention stretches life. Meaning expands memory. If you want life to feel longer, richer, deeper, you don't need more years. You need more conscious moments. Moments where you are fully there. Not scrolling, not numbing, not waiting, living. People say life is short like it's a warning. It's not a warning. It's a measurement. Life is measured by how much of it you actually experience, and most people experience far less than they think. 1. Busy is not the same as alive. Modern life has a favorite disguise. It's called busy. Busy looks productive. Busy sounds responsible. Busy feels important. But busy is often just motion without direction. Most people don't lack time. They lack clarity, so they fill the emptiness with tasks, emails, meetings, notifications, obligations, because when you're busy, you don't have to ask difficult questions. And the most dangerous questions are the quiet ones. Questions like, why do I feel empty even when I'm doing everything right? Why does my life feel rushed but directionless? Why am I exhausted even when I haven't done anything meaningful? Busy becomes a shield, a way to avoid honesty. There is a specific kind of tiredness that comes from living out of alignment. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up drained, because the exhaustion isn't physical, it's existential. Being alive is not about movement. Being alive is about engagement. You can move all day and still be disconnected from your own life. Most people are not living. They are managing. Managing expectations, managing responsibilities, managing appearances, and management slowly replaces meaning. One of the most tragic things you can do is confuse activity with purpose. Purpose gives energy. Busy drains it. If your life is always loud, you never hear yourself. And if you never hear yourself, you slowly disappear. 2. Most people are living someone else's life. From the moment you were young, you were taught how to be acceptable, not how to be authentic, acceptable. You learned what gets praise, what gets approval, what gets attention. And without realizing it, you adjust it. You learned to edit your personality, to soften your opinions, to hide your desires, to silence your instincts. This is how identity erodes, not through trauma, through adaptation. You didn't wake up one day and decide to abandon yourself. You did it slowly, one safe choice at a time. People often say, "I don't know who I am anymore." That's not confusion. That's a sign you've been living externally for too long. Living for approval is expensive. It costs you your truth. And life is too short to spend it performing. If I keep living like this, what will my life look like in 5 years? So you fill the day, you fill the noise, you fill your head, because the moment you sit still, reality taps you on the shoulder. But being alive is not about movement. Being alive is about engagement. You can move all day and still be disconnected from your own life. Most people are not living, they are managing. Managing expectations, managing responsibilities, managing appearances. And management slowly replaces meaning. One of the most tragic things you can do is confuse activity with purpose. Purpose gives energy. Busy drains it. If your life is always loud, you never hear yourself. And if you never hear yourself, you slowly disappear. Because if you never stop, you can live your entire life running and still arrive nowhere.
3. The real tragedy is not death, but a wasted life. Most people fear death. They fear the moment it ends. But death itself is not the real tragedy. The real tragedy is reaching the end and realizing you never truly lived while you had the chance. Death is final, yes, but it is honest. It does not pretend. A wasted life is quieter, more painful, and far more common. Because a wasted life looks fine on the outside. It blends in. A wasted life can have a stable job, a routine, a sense of normalcy, even moments of happiness. But deep down, it carries a persistent feeling of something missing, a feeling that never fully goes away. This is what makes wasted life so dangerous. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It whispers in moments of silence, late at night, early in the morning, moments where distractions fade and honesty rises, moments where you feel a quiet heaviness and don't know why. People often say, "I don't know what's wrong, I should be happy." That sentence alone reveals everything. A wasted life is not about suffering, it's about unused potential. It's about knowing, deep inside, that you could have been more honest, more courageous, more alive. The tragedy is not dying young. The tragedy is dying without ever feeling truly awake. Many people mistake success for fulfillment. They think if they achieve enough, the emptiness will disappear. But success without alignment only magnifies emptiness, because now you have everything you were told to want, and you still feel disconnected. A wasted life is not built in one decision. It is built in compromises, small ones, daily ones. You compromise your truth to avoid discomfort. You compromise your dreams to avoid uncertainty. You compromise your instincts to maintain approval. And none of these feel dangerous in the moment. They feel responsible. They feel mature. They feel safe. But over time, those compromises accumulate. They form a life that looks acceptable but feels unrecognizable. And one day, a terrifying thought appears. If I continue like this, nothing will change. That thought is often the beginning of awakening or the beginning of resignation. Life is short, too short to spend decades almost living, Too short to survive instead of engage. Too short to trade your only existence for comfort and routine. Death is unavoidable, but a wasted life is a choice, even if it's made unconsciously. 4. Later is the most dangerous illusion. Later feels harmless. It feels reasonable. It feels like patience. I'll do it later. I'll start later. I'll take the risk later. I'll change later. Later feels safe because it doesn't demand action now. Later removes pressure. Later removes fear. Later removes responsibility. But later is not neutral. Later is a delay, and delays compound. Most dreams do not die from failure. They die from postponement. Later slowly becomes not this year, not the right time, maybe someday. And someday is not a date. Someday is a graveyard. Here's the hard truth. The longer you delay something meaningful, the heavier it becomes, because now it carries not only fear, but regret. People think time makes things easier. Sometimes it does, but for important things, time often makes them harder. Because as time passes, responsibilities grow, energy shifts, risk tolerance shrinks, identity hardens, and what once felt exciting starts to feel impossible. Later is how people convince themselves they're still in control, but later is actually surrender. Life does not pause while you wait. It moves, with or without you. And one day you wake up and realize you didn't choose your life. You defaulted into it. Life is short, not short enough to keep waiting. 5. You will never feel ready. One of the biggest myths people live by is readiness. They believe that one day something will click, confidence will arrive, fear will disappear, clarity will appear, and then, finally, they will act. That day never comes. Readiness is not a prerequisite, it is a byproduct. You do not feel confident and then act. You act and confidence follows. You do not feel clear and then move. You move and clarity emerges. Waiting to feel ready is how fear disguises itself as logic. It sounds responsible, it sounds intelligent, but it is still fear. Fear says, not yet, and life quietly replies, then never. Most people who live meaningful lives were not ready. They were uncertain, they were scared, they were uncomfortable, but they moved anyway. Life rewards motion, not perfection. The cost of waiting is invisible at first, but over time it becomes unbearable. Because every year you delay, you are no longer starting from zero, you are starting from regret. Life is short. Start before you're ready. 6. Fear is loud, but comfort is deadly. Fear gets blamed for everything, but fear is not the real enemy. Comfort is. Fear tells you the truth. It tells you something matters. Comfort tells you to stay the same. Fear creates awareness. Comfort creates numbness. Comfort is seductive. It offers stability, predictability, routine, and over time it shrinks your world. You stop exploring. You stop questioning. You stop risking. And one day you realize your comfort zone didn't protect you. It slowly erased you. A comfortable life can become a silent prison, one where the bars are invisible, one where you don't feel trapped until you try to leave. Growth requires discomfort, meaning requires risk, and life is too short to stay where you no longer grow. 7. Your daily choices are your life. Your life is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary ones. How you wake up, what you tolerate, what you avoid, what you repeat. These small choices feel insignificant, but they are not. They are shaping your future quietly. You do not wake up one day and become unhappy. You practice it. You do not wake up fulfilled. You build it. Your days are votes. Votes for the kind of life you are creating. Life is short. Pay attention to your days. 8. Regret lasts longer than failure. Failure hurts once. Regret hurts repeatedly. Failure teaches. Regret haunts. Failure ends. regret loops. At the end of life, people rarely say, "I wish I failed less." They say, "I wish I tried." Life is short. Fail forward. 9. Final wake-up call. One day you will feel time, not as a concept, as a reality. And in that moment, you will understand life was never meant to be rushed. It was meant to be lived consciously. Life is short, not to scare you, but to wake you up.